I'm asked all the time what I do to protect my investments. What are the strategies I implement to combat against all the things I talk about on a daily basis and over 2,000 plus videos in circulation at AMTV? The economy, 0% interest rates, this artificial manipulation at the Federal Reserve, the bailouts, the consequences of all the stimulus and artificial manipulation. What kind of strategy do I have in place for my family? What am I doing to protect our future? Well, one of the things I do is I invest in precious metals. I take 10% of everything I earn and I buy gold and I buy silver. And the company I trust that I do business with is Goldline. These are things you should already be doing, but if you're not, you need to pick up the phone right now. You need to click that link below. Visit Goldline. Download a free investor kit. Tell them Christopher Green of AMTV sent you. Act now. Get your family's financial future in order today.
Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning in to AMTV Alternative Media Television. It is of course July 1st, 2015, and we have a very, very serious situation developing in Greece, leading up to what they say allegedly will be a referendum vote on July 5th, coincidentally the day after Independence Day here in the United States, July 4th, of which a lot of us will be barbecuing, drinking beers, and praying that we aren't attacked by the new boogeyman created by the Obama administration in the name of ISIS. Again, just the new equivalent of Osama bin Laden. That's out to kill all of us in America! Even though, according to the statistics, it's far more likely to die by one of these crazed, drugged out, courtesy of large pharmaceutical companies in this country that make billions and billions of dollars, and these crazy kids like Dylan Roof that play violent video games, etc., and go on shooting sprees, which ignite, courtesy of the mainstream media, which falls into their bullshit narrative and agenda, inciting race wars, of which they unfairly target historical pieces, items, and flags like the Confederate flag because it pushes their agenda, and then launch a gay rights campaign of which they blast a gay rights flag on the White House to simply divide and conquer the people and create social unrest and promote more division and divisiveness in America, more hatred. So the people are bickering at each other, this divide and conquer strategy, and they're unable to see the larger picture of tyranny, that they are in chains, that they are in bondage. Also takes their eye off the ball. More serious events developing in Europe and the Eurozone, with Greece literally on the edge. Bank runs, bank holidays, the closure of the Athens Stock Exchange, not for a single day, but multi-days. Again, this was all fear-mongering, according to the masses several years ago. This was fear-mongering. This was never going to happen. I mean, I thought Mario Draghi, Mr. Drag Queen, probably friends with Bruce Jenner, and people like Christine Lagarde that ousted Dominique Strauss-Kahn in a scandal which was engineered by the elites for a reason leading up to some of these events, or people like Angela Merkel of Germany have said things in the past, which again, they're losing all credibility now, that if Greece fails, the entire Eurozone fails. If Greece fails, the entire Euro itself would be brought to its knees, which is exactly what's potentially happening now. Something we've been speaking to really ad nauseum for years now. Now, it is highly likely in the coming days that Greece potentially re-drachmatizes back to their old currency. When the banks finally open, the National Bank of Greece, or Alpha Bank, or Piraeus Banks, or Bank, or any of these banks in Greece reopen, they potentially could re-drachmatize, devastating and destroying massive amounts of wealth like that at the drop of a hat, at the blink of an eye. You know, we call this like the butterfly effect. We don't know what the ripple effect's going to be throughout the financial system itself. Potentially could lose 40-50% of its value, the Greek people could, overnight. Now, again, the only reason that the ECB, the Eurozone, all of these third-party institutions are concerned, the IMF are concerned about keeping Greece in the Eurozone is, number one, their credibility. But number two is that it would be the banks, these large financial institutions, the banksters themselves, that are a part of this trio, the troika, that would be taking the haircut on the debt that they've been papering over for years, on more debt, printing currency and inflating the euro through these QE equivalent programs, just like the United States Federal Reserve, a private institution, criminal institution, has been purposefully, inflating themselves out of the debt crisis, which again is just a short-term fix that will end in a systemic event. Just like Bill Gross of PIMCO, Pacific Investment Management Corporation, is telling us, just like Mr. Cohn, the head of Goldman Sachs, is telling us, just like Jamie Dimon of the criminal financial giant JP Morgan Chase, who by the way is now a new minted billionaire thanks to all of your bailouts. Want to thank everybody. He wants to thank everybody for your trillions of dollars. He's now a billionaire. Have been warning us about a liquidity crisis, a systemic shock, a black swan event that again won't devastate the banks, but will devastate you, the little guy, will devastate the people. And again, we've seen this in history time and time again, whether or not it was the Argentina crisis in Argentina, or it was the Asian financial / currency crisis, or these have been events that we saw in Germany in around the time of World War II, etc., etc., etc. We've seen this time and time again. So I would urge the people to take Tspiras' advice and vote no on the referendum. Vote no against you taking a haircut. Vote no against you being strung out this extend and pretend campaign, which is only keeping you in bondage long term. There's a reason there's 25% plus unemployment in Greece. There's a reason suicides are tragically up. There's a reason morale is in the doldrums. There is a reason there is no economic growth, no real GDP growth. There is a reason Greece isn't on a sustainable pathway to and towards success. There's a reason that there is no future for Greece. So although it's terrible that there will be a haircut, although it's terrible that the people of Greece are unfortunately going to have to suffer, it's better to suffer the short-term pain now, to do something about it now, to put Greece onto a sustainable path going forward. Again, it's these financial criminals at the Eurozone, at the ECB, and at the Troika that only care about themselves, only care about not losing their shirts, not the other way around. Stay tuned, everybody. Watch these developments. Again, I'm not even convinced we will get to a referendum July 5th because political enemies of the Tspiras party are currently trying to overthrow them. I'm sure backed by the West. I'm sure backed by big money in the West and backed by big money in Europe. I'm sure there's a lot of banksters, hedge funds, etc., big moneyed Wall Street, which is probably trying right now, at this very moment, to overthrow the Tspiras government. What the mainstream media dubs this radical leftist party, but which is really, I think, doing the right thing, allowing the people of Greece to vote and put themselves on the path democratically and basically decide for themselves what their future is going to look like. I'm Christopher Green. Get this video out everywhere, make it viral, hard hitting it in your face, and click the link below to support our sponsor.